What are your thoughts on the fifth dimension?
The fifth dimension?
Fifth.
Why the fifth? Why not the fourth?
Any dimension, really.
What is the fourth dimension?
Explain it.
Do you know?
No.
Okay, the first is a point. Second is a line. The third is a space. The fourth is my favorite word, time.
Okay.
The fifth is a multiverse.
So explain that. That's why.
Okay. Oh, well, she picked the fifth, and she didn't know what a fifth was.
Because I wanted to know what it is to you,
Okay.
sir.
So, okay. A multiverse is basically an endless amount of directions, paths that can occur at any given point in time, not necessarily in space. Like, for example, an insect is a one-dimensional entity. An animal is a two-dimensional entity. A person, a human, is a third-dimensional entity. And then there's a guardian of time, which is basically a fourth-dimensional entity. And then there is basically that same guardian of time, which I don't know what exists past that, but has access to basically everything that happens in a multiverse. That's how they guard time.
Do you feel that you have been able to travel through that, or like as far as your higher subconscious,
I don't think
or
you can.
do you communicate with them? You,
Who's them?
your guides.
How do you know I have guides?
Everyone has guides. It's a matter of whether you can.
Who are your guides?
I thought I was asking the questions.
You are, and we're having a discussion.
Okay. I have yet to see my guides as a figure in front of me.
Okay. Who do you think they are? What do you think they are? Do you think they're God?
God?
Yes.
Not necessarily.
So what are your guides? People call them angels, right? Others call them God. Others call them energy. What are they? Who are they? What do they want?
I believe they are spiritual beings.
Why are you special enough to have your own guardian? Or whatever you want to call
Well,
them.
as I said before, I think everybody has them, just so many people can see them or acknowledge them.
So you think every single person has them?
Yeah.
Does every single human have a notion of every single snail?
Explain that further.
If a snail is a one-dimensional being, an animal is a two-dimensional being, and a human is a third-dimensional being. So does every third-dimensional being have notion of every one-dimensional being on Earth? Are you conscious of all the snails that exist around you?
No.
Could you tell me how many snails are in the backyard, even in the front of the building? Well, isn't it selfish then to expect someone else to be conscious of such a lower being, and all of them, that they
Understood.
each are assigned such a higher being?
I wouldn't say it's assigned.
So how would they know you exist if you don't know the snails exist?
So then here's another question for you. How did they choose?
How
So
do
why
they
do
choose?
some people have them and others don't?
I think when man reaches a specific height in consciousness, it expands its energy to basically give opportunity to not exist in the third dimensional realm, but be noticed in the fourth. No different than the way we view people today. They do something extraordinary and they get noticed and they get remembered.
So
I think
what would
that-
you define extraordinary as?
Learning how to master being a human. When one masters this realm, he basically gives in his consciousness validation that evolution can occur. When he does, he simply has to pay attention to those who pay attention to him.
I had another question and I totally forgot it.
You forgot your question.
I forgot the next question. It was
About-
something that you said in particular. As far as people, mastering. Mastering what? Humanity? What was
Mastering being a human.
it? Being a human. So how does one know if they've mastered being a human?
They live for the experience without fear from the ego of the pain and the suffering. And with each obstacle, they come to a higher state of overcoming.
So for one who has experienced guides or seen guides or felt guides around them or even heard them, who have no idea how to master being a
Consciousness?
human
Yes.
or consciousness, how would you explain that? If guides only notice them after they have mastered.
Well, there's also the desire to want to be noticed. And the mind is a powerful thing. Isn't it? I mean, do we not think some people are crazy? Could people not invent
Well,
what
some
they
people are
believe to be
skeptics.
noticed? Well, I think some people also think that their loved ones are roaming around them 20, 30 years later because of energy they feel.
Well, I think a lot of people want to feel or want to believe certain things, but they're skeptic believers.
Often I think people want to believe what will make them comfortable. Everybody experiences based on their level of consciousness. So what the experience looks like is very different. Some of us are gifted with certain capacities others don't have. For example, gifted with the opportunity to see through time. Others of us have earned their way through that.
So would you consider yourself one of those people?
I've earned my way towards my becoming. There's a difference.
Seeing through time?
I wouldn't go as far as saying I see through time. That is a very arrogant thing to say.
Okay, so what would you say?
I would say that I have been privileged to have been given certain aspects of seeing paths that can occur around me.
So connecting certain dots.
Yes, instead of backwards ahead of time.
Right.
For that, I think I have earned a higher level of consciousness that has opened life's design more seamlessly to myself.